Greetings, brothers and sisters, First Nation. Welcome back to yet another one from us, trusting and believing that everything is well on your side. So, brothers and sisters, I'm coming to you with news from Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu is defeated, guys. I think this is just a reaffirmation from him that, well, you know what? I'm done. I'm defeated. I need assistance. So why am I saying this? In a recent visit by the Senegalese president, Faye, to Nigeria, he's going around doing rounds of state visits. He's in Nigeria. He's going to go to Mauritania, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, the Gambia. He's just scheduled for a lot of visits around that region, and his Prime Minister Sonko is also scheduled to be visiting the AES, and hopefully something good will come out from all of these visits. But, just gathering some information from the recent visit of Faye on the 16th and 17th of May, there's just a lot to laugh about, really, and a lot to say, wow. And a lot in question, really, on where Senegal stands. So, I want to read to you what transpired during Faye's visit to Nigeria's Bola Tinubu. So this is what happened. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday received President Faye of Senegal and called for an alignment of purpose and structure in West Africa to effectively address the challenges confronting the region. Speaking during a meeting with the Senegalese president at the State House, President Tinubu said West Africa must work together to defeat the hydra-headed problems of terrorism, banditry, human trafficking and poverty. He advised that leaders in the region must make the people the point of convergence in governance, noting that the essence of democracy is lost when the people are not the focal point. The president emphasized that democratic governance, democratic values, and constitutional order are sacrosanct and must be protected. He also stated that critical institutions and precepts like the judiciary and the rule of law must be respected and observed for the sustenance of democracy. Constitutional democracy is what Senegal proved to the rest of the world and Africa. It is a joy to have you here to meet the people and aspiration of our youth. You fit in perfectly well. A critical time it is in the history of constitutional democracy, particularly in West Africa. What you have embarked upon, a struggle couched in freedom, is remarkable, President Tinubu said. The president described Nigeria and Senegal as brother nations, recounting both countries' long history of cooperation. We are brothers. We have shared interest in democracy. To make democracy sustainable in the interest of our people, we definitely must work hard. I am glad that you are a shining example of patience, perseverance, and commitment to democratic values. We must partner to make our people the focus of our democratic commitment. Your belief in the sovereignty of Africa is shared by all of us. But how can we work for our people and make them the focus of our democracy if we are violating the rule of law and promoting unconstitutional takeover of government? As the chairman of Ecowas, I am inviting you to collaborate and meet those other brothers to persuade them to come back to the fold. We will continue to work together. We share good backgrounds and we will continue to embrace and promote democratic governance. We must be able to partner and build the freedom we believe in economic growth, development, and other spheres of governance. It is left for us to provide assurance to our people and walk our talk. We must defeat human trafficking. We must defeat terrorism, banditry, and poverty in our society. That must be our focus and commitment, President Tinubu said. In his remarks, President Faye acknowledged Nigeria and Senegal's shared values, ideals, and challenges, emphasizing that both nations have always had good relations since the 1960s. The good relations we have and the relations between our private sectors should be beneficial to our countries, he said. The Senegalese president called for the reactivation of the Nigeria-Senegal Joint Commission to strengthen bilateral relations across the areas of diplomacy, trade, and other spheres. Speaking on Ecowas, President Faye said that with President Tinubu's wisdom and experience, relations among member states can be strengthened and bolstered for the advancement of our community. Ecowas is the beacon of successful regional integration in Africa and globally. It is something we owe to the founding fathers of the community, and I have no doubt that you want to continue this legacy of integration. The Union is going through a rough patch, but not everything is lost. I know I can rely on your wisdom and experience as the leader of this great African nation and the more recent example of Senegal, so that together, hand in hand, we can grow together, and that we can discuss with our brothers and convince them to come back into the fold, to come back and share our common democratic values and what we stand for. Your wisdom and democratic values should be an asset to that vision, and my youth and determination can also be an asset. If we come together with all these assets and advantages, I'm convinced we can open a window of opportunities to discuss. United we are strong. Faced with common challenges such as human trafficking, migrant smuggling, and all other challenges, we need to show resolve to confront these challenges so that economically we can thrive and satisfy the wishes of our people, the Senegalese president said. I don't know who's fooling who here, because one thing for sure, I know that the AES is not going back to Ecowas. No matter what convincing, I don't know why. These guys can just sit as father and son, Tinubu and Doumaye Faye sit as father and son and lie to themselves thinking that the trio will go back. Unless something happens. And when you talk about democracy and associating democracy with the will of the people, serving the people, listening to the people, with the people, Tinubu, these are two different things that we're talking about, because we are seeing democracy prevail in the AES. We have just recently seen in Niger people rallying behind their leader to say, get out the US. We are supporting you in everything that you are doing. We have seen people in BURKINAFASO doing the same thing, holding night vigils, supporting the junta, saying that we are behind you. In Niger just recently, people were protesting, were on the streets saying, do not open the borders between us and Niger and Benin because it's not serving us. In the AES, people support their leaders. The common people will not even sleep. In Burkina Faso, people, young men are volunteering. The youth themselves are volunteering to fight terrorism. And for Tinubu to say we need to come together and fight human trafficking, fight terrorism, it's happening in the AES. If you guys cannot swallow your pride and ask them how they are doing it and how they are succeeding, because the model that Ecowas has been doing has clearly not worked for all these years. So maybe it's time to adopt a new model. Tinubu, I don't know, Pastor Maifa, you might be looking at Tinubu as an old wise man, but maybe this time around you need to get wisdom from this young trio. Maybe they are the ones who are going to save you from a lot of messes in Senegal, because the people are watching. Right now, Senegalese are still excited. Yeah, we have a youthful leader. Yeah, it's going down there. It's still the honeymoon phase, but with time, when they realize that maybe you are not aligned to the vision that we really wanted for our country, then there might be a problem in Senegal, because I can rest you assured that AES will not come back to ECOWAS. AES will not. The visions that ECOWAS has for the people of that region, totally different to the vision that AES has for the people in, their three countries. So for them to now start betraying their people, to go back to a place where you are confined to some certain rules, to some certain guidelines that are not even helpful to your own people. So why would you want to continue with the body that is stopping you from working for your people the way that you want to? They are talking about unconstitutional governance. For me, democracy has never worked. For me, democracy will never work for Africa. Africa needs to adopt a system that will work for itself. We used to have our own traditional ways of governance. And for you to now come and bring a totally different thing to say this is the best model for you is totally wrong for me. And whatever I'm seeing in the AES is working. And maybe they need to sit down and now formalize it and write it and have some rules of governance and, create a model from what they are seeing, because it's working. The people are benefiting from what is unconstitutional, where according to Tinubu and his friends, they are benefiting, they are loving it. That is what democracy should be anyways. It's about the people. If the people are supporting it, then why should you go, all your way to say, come back, talk to those three brothers and tell them to come back? Rest assured, Tinubu, those three brothers are not coming back to ECOWAS unless ECOWAS denounces a lot of, there's just too much nonsense that is happening in that body that I know for sure my three brothers would never let themselves go back to that problem. And guys, maybe you can make it make sense to me. When these guys talk about democracy and they're talking about it's lost when the people are not at the center, what do they really mean? Because I am looking at the model of the AES and how the people are 150% supporting that government. And for these guys to now come and say it's not at the center of the people are not, the center of this kind of model that they are doing, it's unconstitutional. So what is this democracy really? Because if democracy is about the people, that is what we are seeing in the AES. That is what we have recently seen in Niger. People are protesting around the border between Niger and Benin saying, yes, our leader, we are supporting you, don't open the borders. And they know what the effects are for closed borders between two neighboring countries who trade together. But they were like, we are supporting you because they know what the benefits are for this closure of borders. If you open, then we are in a mess. So what do you mean the people are not the center of this kind of democracy? Make it make sense, Tinubu and your friends, because what do you guys want? What kind of system do you want? A system where people are oppressed so that you feel like, yes, now this is a good system of governance, a system where people are complaining, a system where people are always crying, a system where people do not even have trust in their own governance, a system where people feel like they are still in shackles, enslaved by a system that they cannot even take themselves out of. What is this democracy that you guys keep talking about? Maybe you need to explain it to us, because it doesn't make sense to me. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, people are celebrating their leaders day in, day out. These other countries, Nigeria, you will see some of the comments that we have in this comment section are just from Nigerians complaining about Tinubu and his governance. Some people from other countries, democratically elected governance, complaining. People are just complaining about everything. When you go to the AES, people are happy. And you guys are saying it's undemocratic. What is this democracy? Maybe you need to explain democracy to us. Maybe we need to re-understand this democracy. I don't know what it's even called. Because it doesn't make sense to me. If people are happy, you don't call it democracy. People are crying, well, that is democracy. They are the ones who chose that mess. So guys, I don't know what you think about this whole situation, but Doumaye Faye, I don't know the kind of wisdom that we are going to get from Bola Tinubu and his Ecowas, but please be rest assured that the three brothers from the AES countries will not go back to Ecowas. Well, as long as Ecowas stands for everything that it stands for right now, I don't foresee it in the near future. I don't foresee it as long as our three brothers are still in government. I don't see it happening anytime soon. So maybe you can try and convince each other to just work together and create relations between, your countries, because for AES, guys, the way we have moved so far, and then you want to take us back to the mess? No, man, we can't let that happen to us. We cannot let, and I know that the people are still holding vigil to say, hey, you guys, don't take us back to where we come from. We have suffered enough. It's time for change. It's time for development. It's time for us to live the best lives that we've never lived before. And that can only happen if the AES sticks together and people who are aligned to their vision can join them. But for them to go back to where they come from and they know the mess that is there, it's just going to be difficult. Trust me, that one, I don't see it happening. But if Senegal wants to join them, well, that could be great for the Senegalese people, because I know for sure that they have also been longing to be part of such a liberated group of countries that know what they want for their people. Let me know, brothers and sisters, in the comment section down below. What do you think about this? Do you think that Tinubu and Doumaye Faye will win this one? Will they be able to convince the three brothers? I don't see it happening. What do you think? Please let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like the video, share the video, comment, and definitely subscribe. I shall see you in the next one. Bye.